Hi everyone! Thank you for coming back to my channel. I am very excited today because I have this look for you guys. This is the makeup I created today and it's usually the makeup I go for, my classic naked smoky eyes, and I use it with this palette, the Naked Urban Decay Smoky Eyes. That's how I achieved this look, and if you want to see how I created this look, just stick around. So to start this makeup look today, I'm gonna start with my primer, and the one I use the most is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I'm using this all over my face to create a flawless finish, and I'm using this, like I said, everywhere from my forehead to my chin to my cheeks. And then I'm going in with my Smashbox Pore Minimizer, and this is just in the problematic areas that I want to emphasize it, so my cheeks, my chin, and my forehead. And then moving on, I'm using my foundation. The one I'm using today is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. My color is Y125. And I just like to apply it everywhere in my face, as you can see. And I like to apply big patches everywhere so that it really blends out and it's just easier for me and it provides a better coverage. I'm using my Morphe 439. It's a great brush to blend the foundation. It's very soft and it has great bristles, so it really helps the application of the foundation. You want to make sure that you apply this on your neck too so that it matches your face as you saw me doing previously. You want to make sure everything matches and that there are no color disperfections. And next I'm going with my NYS Dark Circle Corrector in the color medium, and this is perfect for correcting those under eye circles, the blue undertones. It just really cancels out the bluish undertones and just creates perfect, more bright under eyes. You want to make sure you apply it from the tear duct to that part where you have the dark under eye circle instead of just putting it everywhere in your eye. Next, I'm applying my Urban Decay Naked Concealer, and I'm just going to put that, I'm going to make 3 dots, not 3 dots, but 3 lines, and I'm going to apply that as a B triangle shape just to make sure that I'm emphasizing and correcting all those dark spots instead of just doing the normal concealer that you would do under your eye. You would just want to do it in the B shape because that's going to highlight your face as well. And I'm just blending it there with my finger. It's a very blendable concealer. And I also apply the Maybelline Lumi. It's a highlighter pen and it's awesome because it highlights and brightens that area as well. So they just work great together. And next I'm just using my Beauty Blender just to blend everything together and make it fall into place. It's a great tool for that. I want to make sure that I get to every spot so that it's blended and it looks flawless. And next, I'm just using my favorite translucent powder, and that's the Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to apply this slightly over my under eyes just to set everything there and make sure there are no creases in my under eyes. I'm using a Morphe blush brush. I couldn't find the brush that I used to set my powder, so I just used that. So here, I'm just taking my Sonia Kashuk spoolie, and basically I just want to comb my eyebrows and prepare them for my brow wiz. So next, I'm just using my brow wiz in the color Ebony. As I've mentioned, this is not the perfect color for me, but I just think it's a great product, so I just use it very light-handed. As you can see, I do very light brush strokes, pencil strokes. And then I just apply it in my brow, and it just gives me more definition and more shape to my brows. You want to make sure that you do the same for both brows. And I always like to go with the other end of the brow wiz with the spoolie, and just to blend the color and make sure it doesn't look too much or too harsh, and there are no lines, or the color doesn't look too bold or just too much too dramatic. I'm doing the same with my other brow, so I'm just fast forwarding because it's just the same. So here I'm going with my Anastasia contour kit, and I'm just gonna grab that shade in the middle. It has a gray undertone, so it's perfect for the cheekbones because it defines your features, and it just makes your face more slim, if you will. And I'm just making a fish face just to make sure that I know where my cheekbones are, and I'm just applying it with my sculpting brush from Real Techniques. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab the banana powder from the same palette and use my blush brush and just put that under the eyes, just to make sure that my powder is set, but not only that, also to brighten that area. And because I think that my contour was looking a little harsh, I just grabbed a contouring brush from Real Techniques and I'm just buffing that out. Buffing? And just making sure it's blended and it doesn't look as harsh. So here I'm just grabbing a flat contour brush from Morphe, and I'm just gonna use the baking technique using a banana powder from Ben Nye. You can also use a translucent powder, and this is gonna define and clean that contour for you. Here I'm taking my favorite bronzer, the Hourglass Bronzer. It is in the lightest shade, and I'm using a Real Techniques blush brush to apply it on my face, just to warm up my face and also blend that contour. I'm just applying a little more of banana powder because I think the bronzer took off some of that, and I still want the effect of the clean and shapely contour. Then I'm just taking my blush, and this is from Too Faced. It's one of their newest blushes, and it's the shade Baby Love. It's a beautiful shade. I love it with this look. Next is my Anastasia palette, and this is the new Glow palette. And I'm just taking the shades Sunburst and Bubbly, and I'm gonna mix them together to create the perfect highlighter. I'm using a setting powder brush here from Real Techniques to apply the powder, the highlighter powder. And I'm also applying it in my Cupid's bow and in the center of my nose. Next, I'm just gonna put a little bit more bronzer in my nose because I feel like my concealer got there and it was looking a little too pale. Now for my eyes, I'm starting with my primer. It's the Lorac primer, and I'm just gonna put that on both of my eyes. Here I'm just grabbing a Rimmel eyeliner. You can use any eyeliner you want. This is just to put it as a base on my eyelid, just to make sure that my eyeshadow, the one that goes on the lid, is more intense and vibrant. And here I'm just taking an eyelid brush just to blend that liner. I'm just putting a little more because I just think it's not enough. You need a little more so that it really shows. And I'm just blending it. You don't want to put this in the crease, so make sure it's always under the crease, mostly on your lid. Next, I'm just going to do the same on the other eye. Just make sure you apply enough so that it shows when you put the other eyeshadow on top of it. Next, I'm taking my Naked Smoky Eyes palette from Urban Decay, and I'm just going to apply the shade called 13 on my brow bone. I'm using a Real Techniques, sorry, not Real Techniques, but Echo Tools small brush, and this came on a travel size kit. You just want to make sure that you highlight that brow bone. I'm doing the same thing on the other side, on my other eye. And now I'm just gonna grab the shade Combust, and grabbing a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna put that as the transition color. This would really help blend all the colors together. You want to use windshield wiper motions as well as circular motions to make sure that everything is blended and it's buffed out completely. I'm gonna do the same thing on my other eye. And next, I'm gonna go in with my shade Passport, and this is just gonna be our crease shade. This is the shade that's gonna blend out the Combust color and the shade that I'm gonna put on the eyelid. Don't worry, this looks like a mess now, but I promise that at the end it will look perfect. Now I'm just taking an eyelid brush and I'm applying the shade Armor, and this is a gray shade with a little bit of sparkle, and it's gonna look perfect on the eyelid. It's just gonna be a little more intense now because of that black base that we put initially. So you just want to make sure that you don't put that on the crease or over that. You can build it up to the intensity that you like. You can just keep putting more color if you want more color or if you want it more smoky or darker. Now this shade can get a little messy, but you can always wipe it off with a Q-tip or some paper towels, so just keep that in mind. Now I'm just going back with my crease shade, that is Passport, and I'm just further blending everything out because we added that color, and when you add more color you have to keep adding and blending just to make the perfect eye look that you're striving for. I'm just blending everything with a fluffy brush. I don't have any product there. Now I'm just gonna go with the lightest shade, Combust again, just to blend it more. Going back with my crease brush on the other eye, I'm just gonna do the same steps that I did on the other eye. Same steps, just the same things. I'm just blending everything with my fluffy brush. And packing more color on the eyelid. And just adding a little bit more of that crease shade just to intensify it. Decided to go ahead and put some shimmer in the brow bone, so I just took the color High and I'm just applying it as my brow bone highlighter. You can always use a matte shade as your highlighter, but I just wanted to use something shimmery, like I said, and more sparkly and more glamorous. And just do the same in the tear dot. And that shade High on my tear dot here. And now I'm just doing a very slim eyeliner application because I don't want that to take over from the eyelid and all those sparkles and smoky eye going on. And that's why I'm using a pencil eyeliner as opposed to a gel eyeliner, just to make sure that I don't go over what I want to achieve. Just make sure you're very precise, unless you are looking for a winged eyeliner or something more dramatic, but for me, this is just the look I was going for. I'm just taking that fluffy brush to clean everything that was left from the shades. And now I'm just taking my stippling brush just to wipe out that baking that I had done previously, and just to make sure everything's perfect. And now I'm just going with my lip liner. This is an NYX lip liner, and I'm just gonna leave the name down below. And I'm gonna line my lips. I'm not overlining them or anything. I'm also gonna fill them in a little bit. And after that, I'm gonna apply my liquid lipstick. This is the Kat Von D Bow and Arrow. And I'm gonna make sure that I apply that properly, that it doesn't go outside the lines or anything like that. You can always clean it afterwards, but you want to be very careful with liquid lipsticks because they can get messy. And then because I wanted to add a little extra gloss, I just went with my Creme Brulee and YX gloss, and I just want to apply that in the center of my lips just to plump them up and apply a little more gloss and make them look more glossy, like I said. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that bubbly highlighter on my Cupid's bow. I'm using the setting powder brush that I use for my highlighter. And then I'm just gonna spray this mist over my face just to make sure that my makeup doesn't look too powdery and that everything is good to go and it looks flawless. And the last step is mascara. I'm not using falsies today. I think this mascara is perfect for this look. This is the Dior Show mascara, and it's just gonna create really dramatic lashes, as you can see. And I just want to clean that I created, that mistake. I'm just gonna use my foundation brush and it's just gonna go. It's nothing serious, so you can always do that. So here I'm just gonna apply my eyeliner on the waterline. I forgot to do that, so I'm just doing it now to both of my waterlines. And it's just gonna make the look more dramatic. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like this video and please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And let me know what other videos you'll be interested in seeing. If you want to see other kind of makeup tutorials or anything like that, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. Bye.